Welcome to this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. Do me a big favor. Like, subscribe, and share YouTube, all our social media. Let everybody know what we're doing and help spread the word. In our episodes, we focus on a lot of the aspects of the automotive culture, including car shows. Well, yours truly, it was fascinating when we discovered a truly unusual rolling car show. If we did, it's actually a rally to be up front with this. It's our new bestest buddy, Jeff Stumb, and this is the Great Race. I love their tagline, to finish is to win. And Jeff started when he's about 8 years old. He sends me his bio, and I'm going, man, I'm hoping he'll adopt me. He's had over 100 cars in his lifetime. I'm checking out my notes, including a 1916 Hudson Cabriolet, maybe the only one left. Before we bring him on, you're saying, well, I've been to different car shows. I guarantee you've never been to a car show rally like this. Here's a little teaser to let you know just how incredible this event is. Wow. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's obviously on the East Coast, kind of getting ready to start the Great Race. Jeff, welcome aboard. We want to thank you so much for being able to fit us in your schedule. As the viewers are going to learn, you guys are getting ready for this year's show kind of around the corner. How you doing today, sir?
It's a great day here at the Great Race.
Well said. And I love that tagline, to finish is to win, because you're going to be hearing from this viewers all the way through this episode. It's about, 9 days and rough math, 2,300 miles, kind of?
That is correct. That is correct. And old cars as old as 1916.
Wow.
And, just to carry a car on your back like that for 9 days and 2,300 miles just to finish is to win.
It is to win. Looking at my notes, you got involved in this race in about 1987. And for the viewers, this is not like a cannonball run. They actually have a course, and you got to finish. If you finish too early or too late, well, then you lose points. And you did it. Did you do it? And you came in like 4 seconds for one of the daily courses. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
First year I ever did it, had the lowest single day score of the race.
So 4 seconds, that's just about perfection, right?
It's getting close. There's very few teams that have gotten a score less than that through the years. It's just a handful.
And again, you're going to be hearing throughout there's all kinds of turns each day and timing and checkpoints that pop up. So to do it within 4 seconds of the perfect score, that's pretty good. Checking out my notes, you were in the newspaper business for about 25 years. And then you became the director of this in about 2011. So it kind of seems like you kind of found your game, huh, buddy? You just truly enjoy doing the Great Race.
Really did. They say if it's something you enjoy, it's not work. And
Yes,
I
sir.
enjoyed being in the newspaper business for all that time, for several decades. And as a hobby, I did the Great Race as a participant.
Sure.
And in 2010, the Great Race was undergoing a change in ownership. And I talked Corky Coker into
Yep.
buying the event. I told him if he bought it, I'd run it.
Well, I tell you, we've had the pleasure of knowing Corky for many years, and just what a stand-up guy.
He is. He is something else.
Okay, viewers, you've been very patient. We're going to give you a few picks. We got a whole bunch of videos coming up, because I got to be candid, this one's really kind of hard to explain without some great pictures and videos. I think we got some picks we call the drive. Give you a sense of some of these feels. So when you're out driving, that's like a whole bunch of snow there, right?
Believe it or not, that was in late June in 2019 at Crater Lake. Must have been, the snowbanks were 20 plus feet high in some places.
Wow.
It actually snowed on us that day. And that's part of the event, is being able to handle, the different environments over 9 days and 2,300 miles. Each day is kind of like its own individual race course, like
Oh, I
having to
love it.
do Daytona 500 one week and then do Watkins Glen the next week.
Do the
That's
next
kind of
week.
what it's like.
Wow. Yeah, we got a few more sitting in. And I just love that shot. Very scenic. It'd be like the sunrise coming up and got a little side shot of the car. Just kind of, I'm going, yeah, that'd be a great way to start a day.
Absolutely. And I don't know why the top's not down on that car.
There you go. Wow. Little serpentine in the road there. Almost looks like the Rocky Mountains in the background. Wow.
That's actually in Northern California on the eastern side of the Sierra Nevadas.
Wow. Beautiful. I think we got one final shot there. And you're saying, yeah, you got to drive in all conditions. So near as I can tell, they don't even have a roof, much less windows, and they're in the rain.
That is a 1917 Peerless. It's called the Green Dragon.
Wow.
And the number one question to the guys and the girls in the open cars is, what do you do when it rains? And the answer is, you get wet.
Because, yeah, there's no, kind of like riding a motorcycle, right? Unless you're going to go hide under a bridge, you're probably going to get a little bit wet. Well,
absolutely.
We got a lot of pics. Well, we have a video here, and one of the drivers is going to give you a little bit more insight on why this event is so incredible. Hey, Rick, hit that play button, buddy.
Well, a lot of people have been coming by asking me what we're doing here. And what we do is we take vintage cars and we drive them 9 days, 2,300 miles. It'll go from one destination to the other, and we have no idea how we're going to get there. It's a hard thing to do, but we have so many amazing people here that have been doing this for a long time, and they are super excited to have people like us. We're kind of new at it. And so there's a huge community of people and a big family that'll help you learn how to do this correctly.
Wow. And you notice the passenger in that last shot for the viewers, you can see him going 1, 2, 3. So this is all back to that timing, right, Jeff?
It is. It is a time, speed, distance rally. So the winner, who gets $50,000, by the way,
nice.
The winner is the team that does it the most accurately. So it's a race of endurance and accuracy. If you're really good at it and your car's broken down the side of the road, it doesn't matter. So it's endurance. You got to have a car that can handle all of the extremes, like we were showing you.
Yeah.
But also the one who can drive the assigned speed the most accurately, handle the turns, handle the stop signs.
Perfect.
For that distance. It's quite amazing.
So absolutely. And we got some pictures of cars. Everybody knows we love cars here at Car Stars and Roll Bars. That's a shot and a half. What is that gorgeous automobile?
That is my friends Chad and Jenny Caldwell from just down the road from me in Noonan, Georgia, in a 1931 Auburn Boattail Speedster.
I thought it might be an Auburn. Oh, my goodness.
And that's the Chandelier Tree out in Liggett, California, that all the race cars drove through.
Wow. And that is a great shot, by the way. I think we got a few more of the. These guys pop up everywhere. And it looks like they just have a great time every year with this, right?
No one has more fun than this team. They're the Wandering Troubadours of Finland. There's about 15 of them. That's the driver and car owner Jay Rynan out of Colorado. That's a 1918 American LaFrance fire engine that or more like a fire chief's car because there's just 2 seats. And if you look to the rear through all of the grease, you will see that this is a chain-driven automobile from 1918, as American LaFrances were.
And we got a video clip later. I think their crew is in like an old school bus.
Yes, it's a 74 something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a really cool bus.
Very cool bus. I think we got a couple more shots. Those now you can see the suspension working a little bit on this hanging a right-hand turn.
Yeah, that's Jeff and Eric Fredette out of Illinois and their 33 Ford pickup truck. They run the American flag on the back of that truck every day, and then they change the state flag depending on what state we were in. And I believe that is the Texas flag.
I think you're correct. We got one more. What's good? It's great. The Blues Brothers showed up.
That is Stephen Abear out of Louisiana, and that is one of a couple dozen, I guess, very, very, very accurate tribute cars. He takes this car to events all over the country every year.
I love it.
For Blues Brothers type of events. And they've been in the race for many years with this car. It's one of the more popular cars because it's so recognizable.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's got to
be.
And
if you remember that the Jake and Elwood Blues were on a mission from God.
Yes, sir.
On the front of this car, it says that they are on a mission from Jeff.
From Jeff. I absolutely. So viewers, I think you're kind of getting a sense. This is in essence like a 9-day rolling celebration of these amazing cars. Yes. You really just energize the little small towns you stop through, and everybody in the competition, quote unquote, they're more than willing to help everybody else. And
absolutely.
And we got a video coming up. Before we hit the play button, when you go through these small towns, Jeff, and we've talked before about it, they're so enthused. So you're going to recognize the starter in just a minute. But do me a favor, look at the size of the crowd. As I believe that's a 57 Chevy pulls away. Hey, Rick, hit that play button.
Governor. Okay, driver, are you ready? Navigator, are you ready? Governor, thank you. 3, 2,
1. That's blocks and blocks and blocks of people patiently waiting to cheer the cars on. That's just got to be as cool as it gets, right, boss?
It really is, Mike. And what you can't see is what was behind that 57 Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Was crowds as deep, even deeper behind them for many, many blocks where the cars were actually staged so that they could take the start. We have trouble sometimes getting the cars through to get them to the start because there's so many people. And this is not your ordinary car show. There's no signs that say don't touch.
Yeah,
we let the kids climb in. And we do go into these small and medium-sized towns all across the country. Our niche is not Atlanta and Chicago.
Perfect.
Our niche is very small to medium-sized towns. We're starting in St. Augustine this year. We're going through Tifton, Georgia. They won the best stop on our race in 2017.
Nice.
We'll be going through Joplin, Missouri. They were one of the better stops on our event before.
I've been to Joplin,
Wichita,
Missouri.
Kansas. So these are the type of towns that we really love to go to.
And you and I talked before, and you shared the story that some of the little towns say, well, we're not sure if we can handle you stopping. And then usually by the time you're done, they wonder how soon you can come back, right?
Yes, absolutely. I always know that we've done our job when they ask us if we can come back. But the downside is the route changes every year.
Good point.
Last year it was Rhode Island to North Dakota. This year it's going to be Florida to Colorado. Next year it's going to be Kentucky to Maine.
Beautiful.
Sometimes it can be 4 or 5 years before we're even back in the area, much less back into that same communities.
Wow. But before we jump into the rest of, because we got great videos coming, we have an amazing video towards the end, viewers. Just hang on to your hat because this one's going to kind of hit you in your heart if you still got one that's beaten. Before we jump there, this is going to be hard for you. I'm going to apologize in advance. To date, what's your favorite automotive memory?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I'm sorry. What you're doing, I think you got a few.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is it's
Yeah.
just there's so many. And what we like to do is take this event, and most of my automotive memories are from this event.
Sure.
We like to take this event to some really neat places, and we went in Ontario, Canada, one year, and we went to the Marine Railroad. And there's these two lakes that are separated by maybe 30 feet of altitude and maybe about a quarter of a mile distance. And they have a rail line that takes and dips rail cars into one lake. They put big yachts on it and they bring it up and they put it in the other lake. And it's a shortcut to keep the boats, yachts, that type of thing from having to go all the way down through Detroit and back up around that way. It connects, if I remember correctly, Lake Huron to Lake Erie.
Wow. So it's kind of like a version of the Panama Canal.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, well, here's an easier question. Ha ha, tongue in cheek. Looking at my notes, because I always got to do this. My featured guest, I apologize in advance once again. What's your favorite automobile?
A 1916 Hudson Cabriolet.
I was going to say, I think maybe the Hudson's going to come in this conversation.
Yeah. I raced it across the country several times on the Great Race. It's a one of a kind vehicle.
Perfect.
It's very unusual. I've spent a lot of great hours in that car. Yeah. It is actually in the showroom at Coker Tire right now.
Cool.
When people walk in, that's what they see with its decals on it from the 2005 Great Race.
Wow.
The last time it was in the event.
Okay, so again, for the viewers, this is more than just a regular car show. This is more than like a traditional afternoon rally. You're on the road for like 9 days, 2,300 miles, and by the way, you get some places to stop. So we got some shots, cell phones. We got some shots we call gathering. So you'll get an idea, viewers, of what's it like when you're a participant, because Jeff and his team really go out of the way to make sure you have a grand time when you're not in the car. See, we can pull a couple of those up under gatherings. There we go. Wow. Now, where's that at?
That is at the Mission Inn in Riverside, California.
Wow.
Richard Nixon got married in that room in 1940.
Oh, my goodness.
It is just an incredible. If you're ever in Riverside, you have to stay at the Mission Inn. It was built, I think, in the teens of the 20s. It's just an incredible place.
Wow. I think we got
7 presidents have stayed there.
Wow, really? Very, very
Yes.
cool. I think we got a few more shots here. And so that is looks like you're at someone's museum or a big collection.
That is. That's our great Pierce Arrow Museum in Buffalo, New York.
Wow.
Our friend Jim Sandoro has made that his life's effort. This museum, if you're ever in Buffalo, that's where Pierces were made and Thomas Flyers were made.
Really?
And we started there in 2018. We went from Buffalo to Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Wow. Very, very cool. A little sit down, possibly dinner involved here?
That might be I don't recognize that right off. It might be the Henry Ford.
Got it. I think we got one final shot. Everybody's hanging out on a big boat.
Yeah. That's in San Francisco Bay.
Wow.
We started in San Rafael, California in 2016, which is on the north side of the Golden Gate Bridge. And we took a boat and we went through around Alcatraz and under the bridge and along the skyline. We do a lot of pre-race activities because once the race starts, it's all about the cars and the event.
Absolutely correct. And we've been looking at my notes and we've been talking about the people and who can be there who kind of surround the cars. Okay, viewers, check this out. We got some pictures we call crowds appropriately slow. As my granddaddy say, you have a whole pile of people appreciating what you guys are doing, or y'all are doing. Wow.
That's Rhode Island. To start last year in Warwick, Rhode Island, where the governor was waving the green flag. That's Narragansett Bay in the background, which opens up into the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow.
Jay Leno's house is just a few miles from that spot on the rocky shores. Rhode Island's just such an incredible state.
Exactly. Just that picture postcard statement, right? So there's people everywhere.
Yeah. That looks like the start in Riverside, California in 2019, I believe.
Wow. That is just breathtaking. And again, like you're saying, people are kind of getting ready to start, and the crowds are kind of gathering around them, so they got to kind of weave through them a little bit.
Yeah, this looks like after they've taken the start. That might be San Rafael, California.
I love this shot. Everybody's happy. There's confetti in there, and I believe that's a checkered flag, probably for the day or something.
Well, with the confetti, that would be the finish, and the
okay.
winner's been announced, and the confetti started flying. That looks like maybe downtown Anaheim.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Wow. So always keeping track of my notes, viewers. So hopefully you're getting a sense of just how the breadth of this. It's hard for me to put this in a word how cool it is. Before we go any further, we got a video we're going to share. And I think and Jeff, no offense to you and your team, but when I found this video, it kind of stopped me in my tracks. I think it really conveys how uniquely spatial this event is on how it can impact a given family. So Rick, let's hit that play button, buddy.
First great race, the whole reason that I did it, I think I really pushed to do it with him. He's gonna get mad for talking about it, but he had surgery, heart surgery, and he had a stroke. And he was always talking about how he couldn't remember things, he couldn't remember words and stuff like that. And I remember thinking, no, you can do more than you think. When it became time for us to do it, I mean, he thought we were just doing it for the car. I always cry because I was doing it for him. I wanted him to. He loves cars, and I knew if we just drove from place to place, we would have, after 9 days, we would have 18 car shows to take him to. And really, we were horrible at the first race. I mean, we're still learning, but we were bad. And it was just to get him out and just drive. And I think at one point he fired me as a navigator. He was looking for somebody else because he was so into it, and he did great.
I kind of love he's going to go ahead and fire his daughter. I think that was the Holders, right?
That's Anna Holder from Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
And her father, Kurt, is from Southern California. And they did it in a Model A. And he did it the first year. And the second and third year, she has done it with her daughter,
cool.
Della, who is a teenager, late teens. And so they've really made it a family affair, which most of these teams do. Most of our teams are brothers, father, son, grandfather, grandson, and then, of course, there's the mother-daughter team, which is very unusual.
Very unusual.
My wife and daughter were the first mother-daughter team to ever complete the Great Race.
Really?
And then Anna and her daughter are the second team to ever do it.
And what fascinates me, seeing some of the video clips and talking with you and with others, just the camaraderie, because it's kind of a competition, but everybody's more than willing to help everybody else.
Oh, absolutely. That's kind of what it's all about. It's
cool.
You spend 2 weeks every year with these people. There's 500 people in our entourage, and they're from all over the world. But you spend 2 weeks with these people.
Yeah,
that's longer than a lot of people spend with their close relatives.
This is
so
true.
This becomes your family when you spend 2 weeks every summer with.
You look forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and we get to go some incredible places.
Yeah.
I think it combines all these things we love: the travel, the unique places, this great event, and old cars.
Old car. We got a few more clips coming up, but I got to ask kind of the logistics of how big is your volunteer group? Because it's obviously more than just Jeff.
Oh my, you're looking at one of only two paid people to work at the Great Race. So it
Sure.
takes almost 50 volunteers that take 2 weeks vacation to come work for me every year. That's some dedication. And we could not do this event without them. And they come from
Absolutely.
all over the country. And
Cool.
most of these people have been volunteering for more than 20 years.
Oh my goodness. I love it.
So it's, I mean, a lot of them, you volunteer and you come and you sit on the side of the road at a checkpoint, for half the day.
Yeah.
But they get to see some great places. And again, they're part of the family too. I mean,
Exactly.
it's just amazing especially with social media today, that it could be January and I'm on Facebook and I see that here's one of our volunteer checkpoint workers visiting one of the race teams in another city. That I was like, well, how did they get to be friends? Because one team's out there driving all day and the other is volunteers on the side of the road. But
And they hooked
that's
up.
just the way this event is.
And I love it. So big shout out and thank you to all the volunteers. We've been talking about fans. Well, that old thing, pictures worth 1,000 words. We got a few pictures. So literally it can be anybody and everybody. So you got some people hanging out there just saying howdy as they go by. And I think we got a few more.
That is a great, those are just people on the side of the road, and we see this from coast to coast.
I absolutely love it. And so
There you go.
Yeah, you got the young and the young at heart, right? So this is definitely the young ones.
That's my friend Sam Hannegriff and his 1959 Cadillac. And that could be anywhere in the country because literally you see this dozens and dozens of times every day.
I absolutely love it. And I love them. They got a great race banner right there, and they got the American flags. They're ready.
And we see that where cities will all have their own shirts for the event.
Oh, cool.
They get everybody involved. The kids will do poster contests, and every business in town's assigned a different racer. And especially in the Midwest, it seems like the most that people really get into the event coming to town because, quite honestly, we'll be stopping in Garden City, Kansas on Friday, June the 30th.
Right.
This year. It's the overnight stop. I don't think I'm out of line saying this will be the biggest event in Garden City, Kansas all year.
Nice. I love this shot, by the way.
That is my favorite picture. Whenever I send my packets out to cities in advance to explain who we are and what we do, I always include this picture because it, I think more than anything, talks about what the event is to these cities that we go to. That is just a local kid that has, with permission, climbed into, that is actually the Hemmings Motor News 1932 Ford Speedster.
Wow.
That Jim Minetto was the publisher of Hemmings for about a decade and a half, maybe two decades. And he used that car for at least 10 years on the Great Race.
Wow. But that's just such a great shot. And you know that young man and his parents, they're going to remember that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, we talk about the awards and presentation because there's going to be some winners, be great celebrations. We got a few pictures of those. So I think I recognize the guy in the middle with a cool hat.
Yeah, that is a cool hat. That was definitely in. I think that's in Gardnerville, Nevada. And that's my friends Brad and Aaron Kaplan from Southern California. They won the day. It was stage 2 there. And you could see on the little map, it looks like it was from Lancaster to Gardnerville, Lancaster, California to Gardnerville, Nevada. That's their Mustang in the back. And they won the day. Each winner of the day gets a nice granite plaque like that.
Perfect. Digging it. So there's the plaque you're talking about.
Yeah, that's they are 3-time grand champions, Howard and Doug Sharp from New York.
Wow. So now you might recognize the guy to everybody's left. That's Wade Kawasaki helping hold up the big check. So who are those winners?
That is a pair of sisters aged 20 Oh
my
It's
God.
Olivia and Jenna Gentry, as you can see on the big $50,000 check
There you
that
go.
they won in 2021. I love to tell people about this as well. This is not just an old guy type of an event. These two 20 and under sisters won the race and won $50,000 in 2021.
Wow, that is just fantastic. And there's a shot, viewers. You can go on their website and you can blow it up and see it really big. They're going, like, say, from Florida up to Colorado. Is that your endpoint this year?
That's right, Colorado
Okay.
Springs, Colorado.
And it's fan. You'll see all the different stops where they'll be. So before we say goodbye, I think we've got some contact information. If you could walk us through that, Jeff, so that everybody knows kind of how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. In fact, we are now taking deposits for the 2024 Great Race.
Cool.
You can go email info@greatrace.com is the best way to contact us. We will get you the information you need to get in the 2024 event, or if you need to find out information about the 2023 event.
Excellent. Well, Jeff, we can't thank you enough for being on here. And I'm looking back at your bio. One of the little quotes I like about it is that it has a chance, turns the average guy into local celebrities as these classic cars make their way through small towns on the way across the country. I think it is.
Yep.
So it's a celebration of the car, the people, and these little small towns that don't get probably near as much love as they should. And so well
absolutely.
done what you're going to do. Big shout out to you and your team. Please thank all your volunteers for us.
Yep.
And we look forward to seeing you down the road. You have a good weekend. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks, Mike.
Wow. Yeah, you got to check out the Great Race. Now, all I got to do is talk to Mary. I said, if we put like a little small cooler in the trunk of the Superbird, that might be kind of fun. Until we talk to you next time, make sure that you enjoy the ride.